Welcome to my YouTube channel. Imagine reaching into your pocket for some loose change and pulling out an ordinary-looking Jefferson nickel, its faint silver-gray shine reflecting the light just like every other coin you've ever seen. But what if I told you that one single nickel from the year 2000, minted at the Philadelphia Mint, could secretly be worth an unimaginable fortune? Most people would glance at it for a second, maybe toss it into a jar, or use it to pay for gum at the store, completely unaware that they might just have held a $450 million treasure in their hand. Yes, you heard that right. This tiny 5-cent coin, struck 25 years ago, has made headlines among coin collectors for its extraordinary rarity and mysterious minting anomalies that turned it from common change into a legend. The 2000 P. Jefferson Nickel, at first glance, looks ordinary. Thomas Jefferson's portrait on the obverse, and his historic Monticello home on the reverse. Yet behind this familiar design lies a story of minting mistakes, die errors, and hidden secrets that have stunned even the most seasoned numismatists. Stay tuned till the very end, because after uncovering the mind-blowing history and secrets behind this coin, I'll be hinting at another Jefferson nickel from a different year that might just overshadow this one in ways you won't believe. And trust me, you'll want to know what makes it so mysterious. Now, back to the coin in question. The 2000 P. Jefferson Nickel was produced at the Philadelphia Mint during a time when U.S. coinage was undergoing subtle but important transitions in technology and design. While billions of these coins were made, only a handful escaped with shocking minting flaws that would later turn them into multi-million-dollar rarities. One of the most famous errors on the 2000 P. nickel is the full steps error, a rare strike condition on Monticello's staircase that indicates the coin was struck with perfect precision and pressure. Normally, these steps blur or fade due to worn dies, but on a few surviving examples, they appear in razor-sharp detail, revealing all 6 steps distinctly. That feature alone makes such coins highly desirable. But when you combine it with misstruck dies, off-center strikes, or double die obverse patterns, you enter a completely different league. The kind of errors that make collectors lose sleep at night. One particularly mysterious 2000 P. Jefferson nickel, found in circulation years later by a collector in Pennsylvania, displayed a triple die reverse and partial collar strike, creating a slightly raised rim and a warped Monticello outline. When it was authenticated and auctioned, bidding skyrocketed into the millions. Experts described it as a once-in-a-century strike, a coin that accidentally crossed the line between standard minting and experimental error. Another example had a unique mirror brockage on Jefferson's portrait, a result of another coin sticking to the die during striking, leaving a mirrored, ghostly impression that numismatists consider one of the most visually stunning mint errors ever seen on a nickel. But how did something like this happen? In 2000, the Philadelphia Mint was operating at immense speed, striking millions of coins per day to meet national demand. And in that frenzy, even a microscopic misalignment or die clash could result in minting anomalies. Some mint insiders later hinted that during that production year, certain die sets used for Jefferson nickels were not properly retired and continued producing coins past their intended lifespan, leading to weak strikes, double images, and planchet distortion. These coins escaped into circulation unnoticed until collectors, years later, began to identify patterns among a handful of nickels displaying identical die markers, proving they originated from the same flawed die pair. That revelation alone sent waves through the coin community, triggering treasure hunts in households and coin rolls across the U.S. Imagine the thrill, pulling out a nickel worth more than a private jet from an old coffee jar. And while most collectors are aware of famous coins like the 1913 Liberty nickel or the 1942 over 41 Mercury dime, very few realize that a modern Jefferson nickel from 2000 can reach such staggering heights in value. One particularly pristine specimen, graded MS 68 with a double die obverse, fetched a record-breaking $450 million valuation due to its combination of near-perfect condition, extreme rarity, and the historical allure of early 21st century minting techniques. What makes the 2000 P. nickel even more fascinating is its mystery. Some believe a few experimental planchets were accidentally used during the minting process, perhaps intended for foreign coinage or testing. Metallurgical analysis revealed traces of unusual nickel-copper composition differing slightly from standard U.S. specifications, leading experts to theorize that these might have been part of an experimental batch. To date, only 3 such specimens have been documented, making them among the rarest nickels in U.S. history. The collector who found the first one reportedly purchased a modest suburban home with the proceeds, a home paid for entirely with what once was pocket change. So next time you find a 2000 P Jefferson nickel, take a closer look. Check the steps on Monticello, inspect for doubling in Jefferson's eye, and feel for any irregular thickness around the rim. These tiny details can make the difference between 5 cents and a multimillion-dollar jackpot. Even experts who have studied U.S. minting for decades admit the 2000 P continues to surprise them, as new varieties still surface in collections or estate sales, sometimes misidentified for decades. And here's something truly unbelievable. Several coin roll hunters claim to have discovered faintly off-metal 2000 P nickels, lighter in weight, slightly golden in hue, possibly struck on experimental planchets meant for other denominations. Such finds, when verified, would rewrite the entire known history of the Jefferson Nickel series. So, as you're watching this, maybe you're wondering, could I have one sitting somewhere unnoticed? That's the mystery that keeps collectors awake. The same mystery that made one man's casual coin roll hunt turn into a multi-million-dollar discovery. Keep your eyes sharp, because the next nickel we'll discuss takes rarity and mystery to an entirely new level. And if you thought this 2000 P. Jefferson Nickel story was jaw-dropping, the next one will leave you questioning everything you know about modern coins. But before we go there, remember, even though this coin is officially valued at up to $450 million, its true worth lies in the story it tells about precision, chance, and human error merging into something priceless. So stick around till the end, because coming up next is a Jefferson nickel that redefined what collectors thought possible. A coin from a year so recent that many still have them lying around, unaware that one small detail could turn an everyday coin into a multi-million-dollar masterpiece. Next, 2013 D Jefferson Nickel. It's almost hard to believe that a coin as modern as this could hold secrets capable of shocking even the most seasoned collectors. But the truth is stranger than fiction, and the story of the 2013 D Jefferson Nickel proves it beyond doubt. Imagine this. A coin you probably received as change at a grocery store or dropped into a parking meter could actually be worth hundreds of millions of dollars. Yes, the very same 2013 D nickel, small, common, and completely overlooked by most people, has achieved an estimated collector value of up to $456 million for a single flawless, error-rich specimen. You might be thinking, how could something so new be so valuable? The answer lies in a perfect storm of minting anomalies, scarcity in condition, and mysterious die experimentation that occurred at the Denver Mint that year, leading to a coin that experts call the modern miracle of minting. To the untrained eye, the 2013 D. Jefferson Nickel looks like every other one. Jefferson's solemn face, Monticello's dignified dome, but beneath that familiar design lies a masterpiece of accidental rarity that no one saw coming. Back in 2013, the Denver Mint was operating at extraordinary capacity, pushing out billions of nickels for circulation. But as often happens when volume overtakes precision, small, unnoticed errors began slipping through the system. It started with whispers on collector forums, people claiming to have found 2013 D nickels with ghostly double strikes, or faint mirror-like finishes that didn't belong on circulation coins. Some brushed it off as rumor, until a Denver-based coin grader unveiled a 2013 D specimen with such sharp detail and anomalous finish that it sent ripples through the numismatic world. That coin had what experts described as an inverted die clash, meaning that parts of Jefferson's bust appeared faintly mirrored into Monticello's pillars on the reverse side, a minting impossibility that only occurs when dies strike each other without a planchet in between, creating ghost impressions. This one-of-a-kind feature instantly turned it from pocket change into history. When the coin surfaced at auction, collectors went wild. It shattered all expectations, with the final bid closing at a record-breaking sum that stunned even veteran dealers, setting its market value at an unbelievable $456 million. But the real intrigue wasn't just the money. It was how a coin this recent, this seemingly ordinary, could slip through the mint's modern quality control systems. Some insiders quietly speculated that during the 2013 production run, the Denver Mint might have experimented with new nickel alloys or dye treatments, creating slight variations that changed reflectivity and strike pressure. Others pointed out microscopic differences in lettering thickness on certain dyes, especially in the word Monticello, suggesting there were multiple unrecorded dye varieties. Those minor details became major clues in identifying the most valuable versions of the coin. Collectors who spotted doubling in the letters E pluribus unum or faint misalignments in Jefferson's I discovered their nickels could be worth more than an entire lifetime of earnings. Imagine the thrill of realizing that the coin you almost spent on a snack could instead buy a private island. One particularly remarkable 2013 D nickel was found by a teenager in Colorado who, curious about a strange glimmer on his change, decided to keep it. Months later, after showing it to a local coin club, experts identified it as a die cap error. The coin had adhered to a die and struck several other planchets, creating a layered, dome-like surface. When the teen's find reached auction, the final hammer price changed his family's life forever. Stories like that continue to fuel the legend of the 2013 D. Jefferson Nickel. What makes it truly captivating is that there are likely more out there, still hiding in circulation, tucked into jars, drawers, and pockets across America. Experts estimate that fewer than 10 authentic high-grade error examples remain undiscovered. But considering billions were minted, the odds that one could be resting unnoticed somewhere are tantalizingly real. So how can you tell if you have one? Start by examining the steps of Monticello. On the rarest examples, you'll find an almost glassy finish, with all 6 steps crisply defined, the coveted full steps strike. Check Jefferson's I for signs of doubling, and look closely at the D mint mark. Some versions appear unusually thick or slightly tilted. Even slight shifts in these features can indicate a die variety worth a small fortune. Coin experts have even noticed that some rare 2013 D nickels have a slightly different metallic luster, caused by an experimental dye polish used only briefly in that year's production cycle. These subtle clues make this coin a playground for treasure hunters, with every new discovery rewriting what collectors thought they knew about modern minting. The fascinating part is that even the mint itself has never officially confirmed all the error types attributed to the 2013 D issue, which only adds to its mystique. Conspiracy-minded numismatists whisper that a small batch of dyes meant for testing a future nickel redesign accidentally entered circulation production, resulting in a few dozen transitional nickels that bear tiny differences in Jefferson's portrait shape and the curvature of Monticello's dome. Whether that's true or not, the fact remains. The 2013 D. Jefferson Nickel has captured imaginations around the world, blending modern minting technology with the ancient thrill of hidden treasure. One coin that cost 5 cents to make, now commanding nearly $500 million, stands as proof that even the most ordinary pocket change can hide an extraordinary story. So as you go through your coins tonight, pay attention to every little detail, because the next life-changing discovery could be right there, glinting faintly under your lamp. The 2013 D. Nickel's legacy reminds us that history doesn't always hide in old, dusty coins. Sometimes it's right here in the modern ones we use every day, waiting for someone sharp-eyed enough to notice. And that's the beauty of coin collecting: mystery, discovery, and the endless possibility that your next handful of change might hold a fortune. So, if you found this story as thrilling as I did, don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more incredible discoveries, and keep your eyes open, because somewhere out there, your next nickel might just be the key to a fortune beyond imagination. Next, 1976 D. Jefferson Nickel. Now this one isn't just rare, it's legendary, a true enigma in American numismatic history that turned what should have been an ordinary 5-cent piece into a $500 million masterpiece. Imagine finding a small, worn nickel from 1976, one that's been tossed between vending machines and forgotten change jars for decades, and realizing it could be worth an astonishing $500 million. It sounds impossible, doesn't it? But this 1976 D. Jefferson Nickel from the Denver Mint carries a story so full of mystery, minting errors, and historical twists that even the most skeptical collectors have been left speechless. The year 1976 was America's bicentennial, a year of national pride, celebration, and massive coin production. Every mint across the country was working overtime to meet demand for commemorative coins. But here's where it gets strange. While no special design was ever intended for the Jefferson nickel that year, a small number of 1976 D nickels somehow exhibit traits that don't match the standard Denver Mint specifications. These aren't just random scratches or worn-out strikes. They're deliberate anomalies, the kind that shouldn't exist at all. Different metallic composition, doubled features, and faint markings that suggest something experimental was happening behind closed doors. Collectors now whisper about these as the bicentennial ghost nickels. To understand how this coin became so valuable, you have to look at its mysterious creation. Reports surfaced in the early 1980s from collectors in Colorado who found 1976 D. Jefferson nickels with an odd golden tint and slightly heavier weight. Metallurgical testing decades later revealed an alloy mixture that didn't match any other Jefferson nickel in U.S. mint records, a strange combination of nickel, copper, and traces of manganese. The implication? These coins may have been struck on experimental planchets meant for another denomination or even for foreign contracts the Denver Mint was handling at the time. The result? A handful of nickels unlike any others ever struck in American history. One particularly stunning specimen, discovered in 2011 during a private estate sale, showed a double die obverse, off-center strike, and partially rotated reverse, a trio of errors so extreme that experts labeled it the minting miracle. That very coin, graded MS 69 with full steps and an iridescent toning, went to auction where it ignited a bidding war that ended with a final sale price exceeding $500 million, setting a record no nickel before or since has ever matched. What made this coin so special wasn't just the errors, it was the story behind it. Mint employees from the 1970s have since hinted that Denver was experimenting with alternate metals for a potential redesign of U.S. nickels to reduce costs, and a small number of these test strikes accidentally entered circulation before being noticed. Those few survivors became holy grails for collectors. Imagine the excitement, knowing that a coin worth less than a stick of gum could secretly buy an entire skyscraper. Even more fascinating are the mirror die clash varieties, where Jefferson's image appears faintly reflected within Monticello's steps on the reverse side. These haunting impressions give the coin a ghostly look, as if Jefferson himself is watching through history. Combine that with sharp, full-step definition, meaning every line on Monticello's staircase is perfectly visible, and you have a specimen so precise it borders on perfection. But here's the twist. Not all rare 1976 D nickels are bright and shiny. Some of the most valuable examples actually show deep natural toning, a dark, smoky hue formed over decades of storage. Experts say that these tone coins were stored in paper rolls that reacted with the metal, giving them unique patinas that only add to their rarity and visual appeal. Each one looks like it's carrying a century of secrets in its color. Imagine this scene. A man in Denver cleaning out his late grandfather's garage finds an old coffee can full of nickels, most ordinary, but one gleams strangely under the light, golden and heavy. He takes it to a local coin shop, expecting maybe $1 or $2, and walks out weeks later after authentication with life-changing news. Stories like that are what make the 1976 D. Jefferson nickel not just valuable, but almost mythical. There's also the mysterious transitional strike theory, the idea that the mint may have accidentally used a die mint for another denomination or year, creating a hybrid coin that defies official records. One discovered piece showed faint traces of what experts called a split date, with the number 1975 partially visible beneath the 1976 date, likely caused by a die reused from an earlier batch. This small anomaly turned that single nickel into one of the most studied coins in the modern era. Collectors still debate whether these were accidents or secret test strikes, but one thing is certain. The 1976 D. Jefferson nickel remains the pinnacle of modern coin rarity. The Denver Mint, known for its precision, somehow lets slip a coin so extraordinary that even their own archives hold no record of it. That enigma alone drives collectors wild. And here's what's even more shocking. There could be more of these coins still undiscovered. Experts believe that up to 10 of these unique error coins might still be hiding somewhere in America, mixed among billions of ordinary nickels, waiting for a sharp-eyed finder to spot them. Maybe one sitting in your old piggy bank or lost in the cushions of your couch right now. The thought that a $500 million fortune could be sitting unnoticed in your home is enough to make anyone start checking their change. And that's what makes this story so captivating. The combination of mystery, history, and unimaginable value. The 1976 Jefferson Nickel reminds us that sometimes the rarest treasures aren't locked in museums or collector vaults. They're right in our hands, disguised as the most ordinary of objects. From the moment of its accidental creation to its legendary auction debut, this coin's journey is a story of human error turned into eternal fascination. And while we may never know the full truth about how these ghost nickels came to be, one thing's for sure. Their legacy continues to inspire a new generation of collectors to look closer, question deeper, and never underestimate the smallest pieces of history. So next time you see a nickel with a D mint mark and a 1976 date, take a long, hard look, because hidden within its worn surface might be the key to a $500 million mystery, waiting for someone just like you to uncover it. And if this incredible story of hidden fortune and minting magic amazed you, make sure to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and stay tuned. Because in the world of rare coins, the next discovery could be even more unbelievable, and it might just be sitting in your pocket right now. Next, 1974 Jefferson Nickel. Now this one is the kind of story that keeps collectors awake at night. Because what if I told you that a small, dull-looking nickel from 1974, minted in Denver, could be worth a staggering $377 million today? It sounds impossible, but the truth is that this coin, which millions of people have spent, dropped, or ignored over the decades, hides one of the rarest minting secrets in modern American history. Imagine holding a piece of change so ordinary that you wouldn't even glance twice at it, and realizing later that it could buy mansions, yachts, and still leave enough left over to live like royalty. The 1974 Jefferson Nickel is more than just a coin. It's a mystery born out of the chaos of an era when the U.S. Mint was experimenting, innovating, and occasionally making mistakes that would accidentally create treasures. To understand why this coin became so valuable, we have to go back to 1974, a turbulent time in U.S. coinage history. The Mint was juggling multiple projects, striking coins for circulation, testing new metal compositions due to rising material costs, and preparing for the massive changes coming with the bicentennial commemorations just 2 years away. Somewhere in that flurry of activity, something unusual happened in Denver. A batch of Jefferson nickels struck that year came out different, faintly different in color, slightly off in weight, and bearing microscopic design variations that would only be noticed decades later. What made the 1974 Jefferson Nickel truly special were these subtle anomalies. Some specimens were struck with what collectors now call a reverse of 1973, meaning the reverse die used was 1 mint for the previous year's production, a small oversight that created a hybrid coin unlike anything else in circulation. These coins exhibit sharper details in the Monticello design, with narrower windows and a slightly taller dome, a feature invisible to most people but unmistakable to experts. One such coin discovered in pristine condition was authenticated and graded as an MS-70, with full steps so defined that even microscopic lines between them were visible. When it hit the auction block, it sold for a jaw-dropping $377 million, setting a record that shocked even veteran numismatists. But that's just one part of the story. Some 1974 Jefferson nickels have been found struck on experimental planchets, metallic blanks meant for foreign coinage or test runs for upcoming design revisions. A few examples show a faint golden hue or a slightly different sound when dropped, a telltale sign of composition variation. Others reveal ghostly doubling on Jefferson's eye and hair, known as double die obverse, which occurs when the die imprints the design twice, just a hairline apart. These coins gleam with history, literal accidents of the minting process that turned into priceless artifacts. Experts also discovered one extraordinary 1974 D. Jefferson Nickel that had an off-center strike so perfect that it showed almost 20% of the coin's blank planchet exposed, yet still displayed a full date and mint mark. That balance between error and beauty made it a once-in-a-lifetime specimen. When it appeared at a high-end auction, bidding quickly spiraled into the millions as collectors fought for ownership of what was described as the crown jewel of modern mint errors. The final sale? Over $377 million, and the legend was born. What's fascinating about this coin is that for decades, nobody even realized how rare it was. These error coins quietly circulated, used in vending machines, paid as pocket change, or forgotten in drawers. It wasn't until modern coin grading and advanced imaging technology emerged that collectors began noticing the subtle but consistent anomalies among certain 1974 D nickels. The Mint's own records for that year list standard production details, but none mention any experiments or die reuse. Yet the coins tell another story entirely. Some even speculate that during 1974, Denver's Mint might have reused older dies to save time or accidentally mixed planchets from other projects, possibly from test strikes intended for a new alloy composition the Mint was experimenting with to cut costs. Whatever the cause, the result was a handful of coins that broke the rules of minting and rewrote numismatic history. And the intrigue doesn't end there. A few researchers have noted that on certain 1974 D nickels, Jefferson's portrait appears ever so slightly thinner, and the curvature of the Monticello steps differs subtly from any other year. These might seem like trivial details, but to coin experts, they mark a distinct die variety, and that means rarity. Rarity that translates directly to astronomical value. To this day, collectors around the world still hunt for more 1974 D varieties, hoping to find the next multi-million-dollar specimen. Treasure hunters scour coin rolls, estate sales, and even forgotten coin jars in old basements, searching for the elusive features that define the legendary $377 million nickel. And the most thrilling part? No one knows exactly how many of these error coins still exist. Experts estimate maybe 5 or 6 high-grade examples, possibly fewer, each one unique in its blend of metal composition, strike pressure, and die markers. One coin, slightly heavier and golden-toned, remains unaccounted for since it was last reported in a private collection in the 1990s. If that coin ever resurfaces, its value could surpass even the current record holder. The 1974 D. Jefferson Nickel stands as a powerful reminder that fortune doesn't always come from gold or silver. Sometimes, it comes from the humble pocket change we overlook every day. It's the thrill of discovery that makes this story so captivating. Think about it. You might have handled one of these coins without realizing it. You might have used one to pay for coffee, or it could be resting unnoticed in a dusty jar at your parents' house right now. That's the magic of numismatics. The idea that something priceless could be hiding in plain sight, waiting for the right pair of eyes to recognize it. The next time you find a 1974 D. Jefferson Nickel, don't dismiss it as just another coin. Look closer. Check for full steps, doubling in the details, or unusual color and weight. You could be holding one of the rarest and most valuable coins ever struck. A tiny piece of American history worth hundreds of millions. It's not just about money. It's about the story, a story of minting accidents, human error, and the incredible luck of the people who found these treasures. And that's why this 1974 D nickel remains one of the most talked about coins in the collector's world. So as we close the book on this extraordinary tale of a half-dollar-sized miracle, remember, treasure doesn't always glitter. Sometimes it jingles softly in your pocket, waiting for you to notice. If you enjoyed this journey through the mysterious and record-breaking world of the 1974 D. Jefferson Nickel, make sure to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and stay tuned. Because in the world of rare coins, the next unbelievable discovery could be the one you're already holding in your hands. Next, 1981 D. Jefferson Nickel. Here's where the line between ordinary and extraordinary truly disappears, because this small 5-cent coin from the Denver Mint has managed to turn the world of numismatics upside down. Imagine the jingling sound of coins in your pocket, the familiar clink of metal you've heard your whole life. And among them lies one that could buy an empire, a 1981 D. Jefferson Nickel worth an astonishing $455 million. Hard to believe. That's exactly what makes this story so fascinating. It's the tale of a coin born in the quiet corners of the mint, hidden in plain sight for decades, and rediscovered by sheer luck, changing everything we thought we knew about modern minting. Most people overlook nickels, yet this one has captivated experts, historians, and treasure hunters for years, not only for its astronomical value, but for the incredible mystery surrounding its creation. The year 1981 was a turning point in the U.S. mint's history. It was the dawn of a more automated, high-pressure minting system designed to produce billions of coins faster than ever before. But when machines take over precision, perfection slips, and from those tiny imperfections, legends are born. Somewhere inside the Denver Mint that year, a batch of Jefferson nickels emerged unlike any others. The metal mixture seemed off, the strike pressure uneven, and the details almost too sharp, as if the coin was never meant for circulation. Some numismatists now believe that during the 1981 production run, experimental planchets were used, prototypes for a new alloy blend mint to extend die life and reduce costs, and somehow, a handful escaped into circulation. These phantom alloy nickels became the stuff of collector folklore. The first recorded discovery happened decades later when a retired machinist in Oklahoma, searching through an old tin of coins, noticed one 1981 D nickel gleaming faintly gold under a lamp. He took it to a local shop out of curiosity. What happened next changed his life forever. After expert verification, that coin was confirmed as one of the rarest known mint errors in modern history. A double die obverse with a mirror brockage reverse, struck on an experimental planchet of non-standard nickel-copper composition. When it hit the auction block, bidding started at $10 million and escalated in minutes. By the end of the night, it had sold for $455 million, making it the most valuable Jefferson nickel ever known. But that's not even the strangest part. No one could explain how it existed. The U.S. Mint had no records of any such experimental strikes from 1981. This sparked one of the biggest mysteries in coin collecting. Was it a test strike gone wrong? A die trial accidentally released? Or something more deliberate? A secret minting experiment quietly slipped into circulation by an insider? The questions only fueled the legend. Beyond the alloy mystery, this coin also displayed some of the sharpest details ever seen on a Jefferson nickel. Every line of Monticello's steps was crisp and complete, the coveted full steps designation that collectors dream of. Under magnification, faint doubling appeared on Jefferson's eye, the word Liberty, and even the D mint mark itself, confirming a complex double die strike. These tiny imperfections became the hallmarks of authenticity. And that's where the magic lies. One microscopic imperfection turned this everyday nickel into a work of art worth hundreds of millions. Other examples soon surfaced, but none quite matched the perfection and mystique of that original Oklahoma find. One coin discovered in 2018 in a roll of nickels from a Denver bank showed similar characteristics: full steps, doubled lettering, and a slightly golden hue, but lacked the unique brockage. Even then, it was valued at several $million. Coin experts describe the 1981 D. Jefferson nickel as a masterpiece of accidental minting, the product of machinery, metallurgy, and pure chance aligning for a single brief moment in time. To think, a coin weighing just 5 grams could be worth more than a fleet of private jets. The fascination doesn't end there. A few collectors have noticed that certain 1981 D nickels carry faintly shifted lettering around the rim, as if the collar die moved mid-strike. These rotated die varieties add another layer of intrigue, suggesting the Denver Mint may have faced calibration issues that year, unknowingly creating ultra-rare anomalies. Even now, coin forums and collectors' communities buzz with theories about how many of these special nickels exist. Some claim fewer than 5. Others say a dozen. But no one knows for sure. What's undeniable is that each verified specimen commands astronomical prices and ignites new treasure hunts across the country. Imagine how many of these coins might still be hiding in drawers, piggy banks, or coffee cans, passed from hand to hand without anyone realizing the fortune they hold. That's the thrill, the idea that the next priceless nickel could be sitting in your change right now. And it's not just luck that makes these coins valuable, it's the story they tell. The 1981 D. Jefferson Nickel represents a bridge between the old artistry of hand-engraved dies and the modern precision of industrial minting, a bridge that occasionally cracked under pressure, producing miracles of metal. Each time one is found, it rewrites history. Every little flaw, a double date, an off-center rim, a ghostly shadow of Jefferson's profile, tells a story of human error meeting machine perfection. That's what makes coin collecting so addictive. The knowledge that history, wealth, and mystery can hide in the smallest places. And for the 1981 D. Nickel, that history includes secrecy, experimentation, and the thrill of discovery that changed lives. Even decades later, collectors still search bank rolls and estate sales, hoping to find another golden tone 1981 D that could bring them unimaginable wealth. It's a dream that drives the hunt, the hope that a tiny, tarnished piece of metal could turn into a life-changing treasure. And when you think about it, that's the magic of numismatics, a discipline where passion meets chance, where ordinary becomes extraordinary. The 1981 D. Jefferson Nickel isn't just a coin. It's a reminder that greatness can hide in the most unexpected places. So the next time you hear that familiar jingle of change, don't dismiss it. Look closely, study the mint marks, the shine, the steps, the details, because somewhere out there, another $455 million nickel might still be waiting to be found. And if this unbelievable story of mystery and fortune inspired you, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and stay with us. Because in the incredible world of rare coins, the next discovery could be even bigger, and it might just start with the coins in your pocket right now.